I'm Tim Malloy with the Civic Association. This is Palm Beach TV, and we begin with Hurricane Laura, which looked for a time it was going to affect us, and thankfully it did not. It skirted south of Key West, hardly affecting Florida at all. Then into the Gulf of Mexico, where it became a huge problem, growing at one point to a Category 4 hurricane, slamming into Louisiana as a Category 2, 125-mile-an-hour winds, sweeping north, huge flood surge. So the toll unknown so far, but clearly another red flag for all of us as we are entering the peak of the hurricane season. It goes all the way into October and November. That brings us back to the warm waters of the Atlantic and Midtown Beach, which, as you can see, was closed Thursday morning because there was fecal matter found in the water. They do testing. They make sure that the water is clean, and this morning it was not. So people were allowed to be on the beach, but not in the water. It is interesting because when we get high winds and high surf, which we've had, water can be swept into the ocean, into the intercoastal, then beyond, and then sucked back in by tides and end up back on our beaches. So we don't really know the source, but it is problematic. Here's Lex May, the lifeguard. We can't say exactly what's in there, but it's not good. And how is it detected?
So the department comes and takes a water sample. The sample goes back, they do their test, they get a reading, and they get a negative or a positive, and they send it back to us, and we make a decision upon that.
And it, whatever it is, and I think we all kind of know what some of it is, it arrives and it takes a while to get rid of it. Does the tide wash it out or what?
As far as I know, when you have wind and surf like this, and especially the tide changes help it out, it could, we could open the beaches up as soon as this afternoon. We're waiting on a resample right now. So the water's closed as of right now to swimming. The beach is open. You can come, be on the beach.
Right.
But the water is closed. And it all just depends on the amount. I know that the amount is low.
Right.
It's lower than some of the other beaches that have been reported. And they didn't close their beaches. They just have an advisory.
But you still have a rip current, so even if you clear the beach, you've got to keep your eyes open today.
Yeah, we still have a medium hazard today. Some leftovers from Laura that came through. We had really big surf Monday, Tuesday, and now we're just looking at the wind fetch leftovers and, small 1 to 2 foot surf. And yeah, we have rip currents here in the trough and everything.
Sometimes this job is no day at the beach. Sorry. Okay, thanks, Lex.
Yeah.
So just an inconvenience, and the beaches will be open. This happens periodically. Once again, when we look at Laura, another warning that all of us should have a hurricane plan. We are really headed into the teeth of hurricane season right now. And that was an indication of just how ugly these things can get. The COVID infection rate has continued to go down in Palm Beach County. There are new cases every day, so we are not out of the woods, but it is encouraging news, encouraging enough that the county is considering moving to a phase 2 situation, which would allow children to go to school either but do in-home learning or in-class learning. Rosarian and Palm Beach Day Academy offering in-home learning or in-class learning as well. We'll keep you posted on any changes that may come with that because everybody's looking very, very closely at this. There is no upside to the coronavirus, but we have learned some things from our isolation and stay-at-home orders, and it's pretty interesting. Here's one thing we've learned. Oscar Schofield, one of the world's leading experts on global warming, rising waters, and the environment, says that fewer cars on our roads have translated into better air for all of us.
If you go to city data sets, there was good evidence that you saw that decreased cars and industry actually was measurable. And so you can sort of see how humans can have a large impact on their local environment just by being.
And by being scared and staying home in this case, but
Yeah. So there's a lot of groups actually working on it. I think what you'll start seeing in the scientific literature is probably in the coming year, you'll see a lot of publications discussing what they saw.
An added interesting phenomenon, Dr. Schofield says, in the last 5 months, animals you don't normally see outside the wild, sensing no threat from people, are more visible, and the growing bird populations are obvious in public areas. A major drug investigation in town by the Palm Beach Police has led to a couple of arrests and a pile of drugs. Wendy Rutledge has that.
Tim, the Palm Beach Police Department has been looking into this for the past 9 months. And what they were looking into, which turned out to be true, is the allegation that several island bartenders were selling cocaine. Popular Palm Beach steakhouse, the Meat Market, became the focus of Operation Up All Night, a 9-month investigation into whether a bartender working there was selling cocaine. Turns out she was.
As the bartender there, she had an interaction with a lot of people. So if there were inquiries about, controlled substances, specifically cocaine, she was able to facilitate that interaction between the dealer and the customer.
Investigating officers also identified drug sales occurring in front of, but not inside of, Cucina.
There was interaction and sales in the area of Cucina and outside Cucina. But those were predetermined locations, meat locations.
The Meat Market bartender, Chelsea Swanson, is now under arrest, charged with 2 counts of first-degree sale of cocaine. Also arrested, her alleged partner in crime, suspected drug dealer Stephen O., charged with 4 counts of possession of cocaine with intent to sell and 4 counts of sale of cocaine, along with 2 other lesser charges. Cash and product are now being held as evidence against the 2.
Street value is about $3,500 worth of cocaine, about $1,000 worth of MDMA, ecstasy pills, around $900 of marijuana, depending on where you buy it.
Also confiscated about $5,100 in cash, believed to be proceeds from drug sales.
What we are happy with is our investigation, although it took 9 months, led to this successful service of valid search warrant, and we took the drugs off the street. We were able to lock up 2 dealers. So we're really happy about that.
And here's the real bottom line.
The chief's biggest message is that if you come onto this island and think you're going to get away with a crime, we're going to catch you.
While many residents have stayed home pretty much over the last several months, workers have been toiling away at the new multi-million-dollar marina. Wendy Rutledge has an update on that.
Tim, this marina project is a very big investment for the town of Palm Beach. $36 million already committed. Years of planning have gone into this. Despite the fact that COVID-19 really shut down a lot of projects everywhere around town, here, this project is full steam ahead. When everybody else was saying, oh, we got to shut down, you guys said, we're going for it. How's that going?
Absolutely. We May 1, Murray Logan came onto the property. All of our transient lease boats left for the season, and these guys haven't skipped a beat.
Dockmaster Mike Horn says the 15-month-long marina project is still in the labor-intensive demolition phase. As you can see by the vast emptiness of the marina right now, all 3 of the old docks have been removed. Tons and tons of concrete have already been cleaned up, meaning the embedded rebar has been painstakingly removed. Then this seeming junk is repurposed to create a man-made reef.
And the concrete from the docks, it's being cut and cleaned up, and that's going to be taken offshore to make an artificial reef.
In the ocean.
That's correct.
With the docks gone, there is plenty of room for these excavators to dig out and deepen the marina area from the existing 8 feet to the 12 feet needed to house the mega yachts this facility is designed to accommodate. All this dredging has presented the town with yet another opportunity to do something environmentally friendly. They are relocating the displaced sand, dirt, and rock just to the south to create new habitats.
Just south of us, they've built an artificial reef, if you will, to make up for the areas that they're dredging. So there's a habitat for the animals and critters that are being displaced.
And check out these massive chunks of concrete. In case you didn't know, and I surely didn't, they're called, believe it or not, dead men. And they will play a critical role in holding up the new, taller, more protective seawall.
They're going to put dead men in to hold the wall back also. So they're going to tie the dead men, they're going to have a cable or some type of cable running across, and there's going to be these big blocks of concrete buried in the ground, which will hold it's a backup for the seawall.
The Town Marina project is currently slightly ahead of schedule. Even with an inevitable hurricane or 2 to slow them down this fall, the new and improved Palm Beach Marina should be able to open right on schedule in September of 2021. For the Palm Beach Civic Association, I'm Wendy Rutledge reporting.
430 neighborhoods in the state of Florida, 90 in Palm Beach County, and all of Palm Beach in the midst of an undergrounding project which is massive. And it is a relief to all of the people who live on the island who worry about their power. FPL is moving lines below the surface. 90 are in Palm Beach County, as mentioned, including the town of Palm Beach. Lines already underground during recent hurricanes fared much better, we're learning, than their above-ground counterparts. So it is true that undergrounding might keep the lights on longer when a hurricane hits. Here's Stephen Stern.
Look at the FPL reliability reports. FPL says that the statistics they produce for hurricanes Matthew and Irma, that you're 90% or so more reliable with undergrounding than an overhead service. It's not the cure-all for everything, but it is definitely better than overhead as far as reliability, safety, and more subjectively, aesthetic improvement.
Undergrounded lines, we must remind you, are not immune to a body blow from Mother Nature. They can take longer to repair in areas prone to flooding or storm surge, where the mix of water and electricity can get very, very dangerous. Some of us call it the lake, some of us call it the intracoastal. What it is a huge body of water that is a big part of our lives as we live in Palm Beach. Our photographer, Philip Baldwin, also a marine biologist, talks to us about the lake, the intracoastal, what's in it, and what it means to all of us.
The Lake Worth Lagoon is about 20 miles long and about a half-mile wide. It extends from PGA Boulevard to the north, down just past Boynton Inlet to the south. Now you hear a lot of names for it: the lake, Lake Worth Lagoon, the estuary, the intercoastal, the intracoastal. But are any of those correct? Intercoastal means between the coast, and that describes the ocean. Intracoastal means within the coast. So the intracoastal waterway is the channel dug for boats through the middle of the Lake Worth Lagoon. The Lake Worth Lagoon is just a small part of the Atlantic Intracoastal Waterway that extends 1,100 miles from Norfolk, Virginia to Key West. The Intracoastal Waterway was dug to create a shipping lane protected from storms and during World War II from German U-boats. The Seminoles named it Hypolexo, meaning water all around, no get out. That's because there was no connection to the ocean and there were no streams or rivers that fed it. It actually got its water from groundwater seepage from the Everglades. There are now two inlets that connect Lake Worth Lagoon to the ocean. Palm Beach Inlet was first cut in 1866, while the Boynton Inlet was first cut in 1925. So is this a lagoon? Well, a lagoon is a small body of water separated from a larger body of water by a natural barrier, such as a sandbar, reef, or barrier island. Well, Palm Beach Island behind me shows that, yes, this is a lagoon. Is it an estuary? An estuary is a coastal body of water where fresh and salt water meet and mix. Well, we have salt water coming in through the inlets from the ocean, and we have fresh water coming in from canals and stormwater runoff. So yes it is. Estuaries are very important marine ecosystems, and this one has a wide variety of habitats, from mangroves along the shoreline, to seagrass beds and oyster bars, to even having a coral reef. And that leads to an abundance of wildlife. Yes, we've got the big guys like manatees and bottlenose dolphins, but we're also home to more than 250 species of fish, more than 100 species of birds. All of our local sea turtles, well, outside the leatherback, spend some portion of their life here in the lagoon. One thing people worry about are there apex predators? And yeah, we have them. There's barracuda, there's shark, there are even alligators. But they're nothing to worry about. We're not on their menu. We're way too much effort. When I'm in the lagoon, one of the things I worry about is stepping on a stingray. But that's easy to avoid. All you have to do is shuffle your feet and they'll just swim out of your way. So that's the Lake Worth Lagoon. It used to be a lake, it is a lagoon and an estuary, and the intracoastal runs through it. And it's an ecosystem that's economically and ecologically important to Palm Beach County.
I'm Tim Malloy with the Civic Association and Palm Beach TV. Reminder that we're urged to wear our masks. A lot of people just aren't if you walk around town, but again, that's really, it's not the law, but it's a really good idea. Think of others by wearing your mask. This is the Palm Beach Civic Association, where membership matters. If you are a member, we hope you'll renew with us. If you are not, we would love it if you would join us. We're leaving you today with some of the waves generated by the tropical storm and the hurricane that skirted below Florida and headed into the Gulf of Mexico with a big impact. Very lucky, all of us. But for a day or so, beginning on Monday, we had some beautiful waves here. Let's hope this is all we ever see this long hurricane season. Tim Malloy, we'll see you soon.